Well, I think actually when we talk about inclusion, mental health and social inclusion, physical active learning do have a lot of different aspects and perspectives to it. And first of all, I think the field of physical active learning has come so far because in the mere start, it was so much about the academic achievements, whereas now we're seeing a shift towards more about the broader purposes of education. And for many, this can be challenging and maybe competing interests. But especially when we think about the contemporary school system, I would say that the purpose of physical active learning shifts more towards actually social inclusion, mental health particularly, because you can see that physical active learning can break down, for instance, social barriers in the school environment by actually making all pupils work together. And this again can create kind of a sound and good environment that helps pupils to thrive. So I think this again can affect their mental health and their mental status. So I think in a total sense, it do not need to shift. We just need to put more emphasis on this, both in practice and also, of course, in research, because there's not too many evidence on this still. But I think if we continue to work with this, this will be of core interest in the future. I do think in contemporary education that there are indeed a lot of discrepancies or barriers between policy and practice. And one of the things I find the most interesting is actually when you come to realize that this is something that we're doing. And if you look at just the policy bit, we need to distinguish between health policy and education policy. And if you think about it, it is the health policy that has been driving physical active learning forward and into education. But it has been done with kind of an implementing perspective and adding on perspective to education. But if we elevate our thoughts and how we perceive physical active learning, there are actually a lot of synergies between educational policies and health policies. And then we can start to think about, okay, is there really a discrepancy between education or practice and policy? Because I think we need to stop to talk about implementing on and start creating awareness about what is happening to actually elevate our ideas and thoughts about how physical active learning do exist within educational policy. There are, per now, a discrepancy because teachers, and I think a lot of teachers want to do more of this, is not allowed to do it or not enabled or empowered to do so. So there are still some structural or system challenges and barriers. But if we empower teachers on their own to do so, I think we can see that there is already in place a lot of opportunities to enact physical active learning. I think one of the biggest challenges we have is actually predicting what is the next steps. I think one of the most important things, if we're going to take the next step, is to think about how the curriculum and educational policy aligns to our teaching and also our assessment and evaluation of teaching. So an example of this is that we're moving towards a society where we don't know what the future lies ahead. We don't know which competencies children will have in the future. So we cannot only have this very narrow sense of learning. So this means that we need to acknowledge both knowledge and also skills in a competency-based education. And here physical active learning is one way to realize these intentions in such a way where pupils can be physically active, participating, engaging with the subject content and other pupils to actually achieve these intentions. What is the main barrier then, and the next step we need to take, is also account for how we assess pupils' competency, not only for their cognitive notions and ideas and their perspectives, but also about how we actually gain access to them as not only heads that are to be filled with knowledge, but also bodies that are to be filled with life. The MOVE Congress and EACEA has a really important job in actually taking the next step and providing the next future possibilities of physical active learning, because I do think spreading the word across so many countries, across so many nationalities, across so many stakeholders is indeed a point of creating this common reference point for all stakeholders to be combined in health and education and think about and coming together and discuss the next ideas about where the field of physical active learning is headed. I think that there are indeed differences between countries. Some countries are doing this physical active learning a lot, while other countries still lag behind. However, I would argue that all children are inherently physically active beings. So although these ideas or notion about PAL, physically active learning, as a teaching method may be novel to some countries, I do argue that I think a lot of them are already doing a lot of great work. So it is about elevating these ideas. It is about creating awareness of possible avenues in the future to actually explore together with different teachers how we can elevate these ideas of physical active learning to the next level. I would use the three words fun, engaging, and co-creation for the MOVE Congress, because it is so fun to be here and we need to co-create the future possibilities for also physical active learning.